Welcome to Horse Sense, where every hoofbeat carries a story, and every flick of the tail hides a meaning. Here, we explore the wisdom, wonder, and history of horses. One tale, one fact, one moment at a time. Whether you're a lifelong rider, a curious mind, or just someone who loves the beauty of these majestic animals, you're in the right place, so saddle up, and let's discover what horses have been trying to tell us all along. Somewhere between muscle and myth, between heartbeat and hoofbeat, lives a connection older than written language. The bond between human and horse isn't just ancient, it's sacred. Long before machines, before maps, even before saddles, humans reached out and horses stepped closer. But why? Why do horses, flight animals, let us ride, lead, even love them? This is not just a story of domestication. It's a story of emotional attunement, of unspoken communication, of brain chemistry and ancient soul memory. Today, we'll explore what science has to say about the human-horse bond, and what the soul has always known. From biology to myth, from heartbeat syncing to silent trust, this is the untold truth of the bond that shaped both species. Welcome to Horse Sense. Let's begin. It's hard to trace the exact moment the bond began, but historians, archaeologists, and scientists agree. Something remarkable happened in the ancient steppes of Central Asia over 5,000 years ago. Somewhere near what is now Kazakhstan, humans didn't just hunt horses, they befriended them. The Batai culture, one of the earliest known groups to domesticate horses, didn't ride them at first. They herded them, milked them, lived among them. But that simple, quiet proximity, the act of being near without harm, was the beginning of something profound. Horses are prey animals. They evolved to flee. Yet here, they began to stay. According to evolutionary biologists, this bond formed through mutual benefit. Humans gained transportation, milk, companionship, and power. Horses gained safety, food, and protection from predators. But beyond biology, there was something else happening. Humans began to feel calm in the presence of horses, a strange and soothing connection. And horses, whose hearts beat with fear at the scent of wolves, began to mirror the calm of these two-legged creatures. Today, we know that horses can recognize human faces, remember voices, and even sense our emotions through subtle changes in scent, posture, and heart rate. But even back then, without MRI scans or cortisol readings, the bond was already forming. It was forming in the way a human would sit quietly among grazing horses, in the way a foal would nudge a child's hand, in the way eyes met and didn't flinch. We are energies, patterns, postures, and intentions. Before they recognize your face, before they hear your voice, they feel your presence, your heartbeat, your tension, your intention, and they judge instantly whether you are safe or something to run from. Horses are herd animals. Survival meant constant awareness of body cues. They evolved to detect the flick of an ear, the tightness of a flank, the subtle shift in stance. And when they entered relationship with humans, they applied the same intelligence to us. To a horse, your slouched shoulders speak louder than your voice. Your wandering eyes, your clenched jaw, your breath all tell a story. And if that story doesn't feel grounded, they won't trust it. Science confirms what equestrians have known for centuries. Horses can read and reflect human emotion. Studies show horses respond to human facial expressions, especially anger and sadness. They can differentiate happy versus stressed heart rates. They mirror our cortisol levels in shared space. They often become tense, still, or even distant when humans are emotionally unstable. This isn't anthropomorphism, it's biology. Inside the equine brain are specialized neurons, the same kind found in humans, called mirror neurons. These cells fire not just when the horse experiences something, but when they observe someone else experiencing it. This creates an empathic bridge. When we're calm, they soften. When we're anxious, they stiffen. When we're kind, they open. With such sensitivity, why would any horse let a predator near? Why would they allow touch, halters, saddles, even riders? Because horses are not just fearful, they are forgiving, they are curious, social, capable of forming powerful interspecies bonds if we show up right. They let us in when we are emotionally congruent. Our insides match our outsides. We respect their space. We offer consistency, calm, and patience. We lead through trust, not fear. They let us in because somewhere in our stillness, they feel something familiar. Every horse asks the same questions about every person. Are you safe? Are you consistent? Do you listen? Can I trust you when I'm scared? Will you be kind when I make mistakes? And they don't decide based on what you say. They decide based on how you breathe, how you move, how you exist in their space. They look for what herd leaders show: calm confidence, direction without force, patience, clear boundaries, empathy without weakness. When a horse walks to you, rests its head on your chest, mirrors your breath, you are being invited into something rare. You are not just training, you are not just grooming, you are not even just bonding. You are being accepted as herd, in a language older than words. And in that moment, without bridles or reins, you and the horse meet as equals. At its core, co-regulation is the nervous system's way of syncing with another being. Humans are wired for it, especially children and caregivers. But it doesn't stop with people. We also co-regulate with animals. And horses, they are masters of it, not because they try, but because they feel. Horses have incredibly tuned parasympathetic systems, the part of the nervous system that tells the body, it's safe now. Unlike predators, horses constantly scan their environment for cues of safety or danger. That means when a human walks into the paddock, stressed, fast breathing, or disconnected, the horse senses it instantly. And if we're dysregulated long enough, they don't just notice, they react, they might pull away, stiffen, fidget. But when we're grounded, when we drop the noise and the need to impress, something beautiful happens. Our heart rate lowers, our muscles soften, our breathing slows, and the horse, it mirrors us. Or maybe we're mirroring it. Science isn't sure who initiates the shift, but what's clear is this: when a human and a horse share calm, both nervous systems benefit. Equine-assisted therapy and neurobiology research reveal interacting with horses reduces cortisol, the stress hormone. Grooming and touching horses activates the vagus nerve, linked to calm. Heart rate variability improves, a sign of emotional resilience. Trauma survivors show measurable improvements in emotional regulation. Even watching horses breathe can bring measurable calm. You don't need to be in crisis to benefit from co-regulation. Even simple presence, no halter, no riding, just being, can create healing. Many horse people know this moment. You had a long day, you walk to the paddock. The horse turns, sees you, walks over. You stand side by side. No words, no task, just shared breath, shared weight, shared peace. And somehow the chaos inside starts to quiet. There's a reason it feels spiritual when a horse's heartbeat aligns with ours. It's not just emotional, it's physical. Some research shows horses can synchronize heart rhythms with humans. This phenomenon, known as entrainment, is often observed in bonded pairs. Over time, the horse's consistent calm teaches the human nervous system to relax more easily. It's not training, it's a heartbeat teaching another heartbeat how to feel safe again. We live in an overstimulated world. Fast, loud, demanding, always scrolling, always reacting. But horses, they don't care about your inbox. They don't measure your worth in likes. They don't need you to be anything but present. In their world, silence is strength. Stillness is communication. Listening is the highest form of respect. And when you learn to exist on their terms, you begin to heal, not because they make you, but because they invite you back to yourself. Modern psychology tells us trauma isn't just a memory. It's stored in the body, in tight muscles, in hypervigilant breath, in flinches, shutdowns, silence, and healing. It doesn't always begin with words. Sometimes, the body has to feel safe first, before the mind can catch up. That's where horses come in. Equine-assisted therapy, or EAT, involves guided interaction between a human and a horse. Led by a licensed therapist, an equine professional, there's no pressure to ride. Often, there's no saddle at all. Sometimes, there's not even a touch, just observation, breathing, trust building. Through these moments, clients process fear, grief, anxiety, and past trauma, not by reliving it through words, but by relating to something real, grounded, and kind. Many trauma survivors, especially those with PTSD, abuse history, or emotional shutdown, struggle with feeling disconnected from their body, trusting others, finding language for their pain, sitting still without spiraling. Horses help not by fixing, but by modeling present moment awareness, clear nonverbal boundaries, acceptance without judgment, physical calm through breath and posture. When a horse stands quietly near someone who's hurting, it's not just a comforting presence, it's a co-regulating mirror. In equine therapy sessions, even small moments matter. A horse yawns near a client who just opened up emotionally. A nervous horse relaxes as the client grounds their breath. A silent teen touches a horse for the first time and cries. These are shifts. They are breakthroughs with no vocabulary, but with endless meaning. Horses do not fake affection. They do not say things to make you feel better. That's what makes their responses so powerful. If a horse approaches, softens, breathes deeply near you, it's real. There is no performance, only resonance. And for those who have been hurt, betrayed, or silenced, the authenticity of that connection can be life-changing. These aren't miracles. They are the quiet, steady gifts of coexistence, offered by beings who never asked us to explain anything. You don't teach someone to trust again, you show them it's safe to try. And horses, they show it better than we ever could. They do it through eye contact, stillness, turning their body towards you, mirroring your movement, letting you lead when you're ready. These are not tricks, they are invitations. History remembers the soldiers. It remembers the generals, the victories, the wounds, and the wars. But in every army, there were other warriors, not men, not armed, but living, breathing beings who charged into the fire, not because they were ordered, but because they believed in the rider they carried. Horses, drafted, trained, sacrificed, they didn't wear medals, but they bled beside those who did. To understand the power of the war horse, you must understand its nature. Horses are prey animals. They run at the sound of danger. Their instinct is flight, not fight. And yet, history shows them standing in cannon fire, charging through spears, galloping into enemy lines. Why? Because of trust, not in the war. Not in the cause, but in the human on their back. From ancient Rome to World War I, the stories endure. Alexander the Great and Bucephalus, a horse said to only trust him. General Lee and Traveler, a horse so loyal it never left his side, even after death. World War I's war horses, who pulled artillery through mud, carried messages under fire, and stood still as bombs fell. In one account, a dying soldier tied a note to his horse's mane. He knows the way home. Take care of him. For every horse that survived the battlefield, another faced a quieter sorrow, abandonment. After World War I, over 8 million horses had been used. Many were left behind, sold off, slaughtered, forgotten, and soldiers, they wept. Some wrote letters begging for their horse's return. Others paid their life savings to bring one horse home. Why such grief? Because in the darkest hour, these animals had stood by them, without question, without blame, only with breath and loyalty and silent courage. Modern trauma studies show soldiers who bonded with war animals often experienced deeper emotional coping during battle. The presence of a horse reduced stress hormones. After the war, the loss of the animal often triggered delayed grief, depression, and PTSD symptoms. In other words, these horses weren't just tools of war, they were companions, comrades, therapists before the word existed. Many soldiers never got to say goodbye. The war ended, the orders changed, the horses were gone. And in that silence, a kind of mourning set in, not just for the loss of battle, but the loss of the one who carried you through it. For a horse, the herd is life. It is a safety. It is a meaning. Horses don't simply prefer company. They require it for emotional and biological regulation. Their nervous system is built to sync with others. They sleep in shifts to guard one another. They groom to release tension. They play, they protect, they grieve, and most of all, they choose. Every herd, even wild ones, is a complex emotional ecosystem. And when a human is invited in, it's not a fluke, it's a choice. Humans, too, are social mammals. We long for belonging, eye contact, shared rhythm, safety in numbers, touch, warmth, and recognition. We call it community, family, tribe, pack. But at its root, it's the same drive: don't leave me behind. Let me matter to someone. When a horse bonds with a human, leans on them, follows them, or even calls out when they leave, it is the herd instinct extended. And when a human bonds back, it's a kind of ancient soul handshake written in biology. Horses communicate using body orientation, a breathing, energy shifts, a grooming, proximity. These things aren't taught, they're felt. And when you spend time around horses, not just training, but being, your own body begins to remember. You become more aware of space, more aware of what you radiate, more honest with your presence. Why? Because horses require emotional clarity the way a herd does. When a horse allows a human to stand quietly beside them, eat with them, sleep near them, follow them across the pasture, groom them or be groomed in return. This is herd inclusion. It's not just affection, it's permission. And for humans, especially those who feel disconnected from people, this moment can be healing beyond words. Horses don't operate alone. Even when separated, they think as a group. If one senses danger, all respond. If one is at ease, others soften. If one leaves, the rest notice. It's a living, breathing feedback loop. And when you step into a paddock, you don't just meet a horse, you enter a system, a flow. And the horse watches. Do you listen to the group? Do you lead with calm? Do you offer peace or pressure? In therapeutic and spiritual spaces, being around a group of horses, even without riding, can be deeply transformative. Why? Because you are surrounded by nervous systems that value stillness, connection, and truth. You are enveloped in a field that says, you don't have to perform here. And when you are real, when you stop hiding behind titles or tension, the horses draw near. Maybe we were never meant to own horses, only to join them, to walk beside them, to be led by them when we forget how to listen, to lead them only when our heart is soft enough to do so. Somewhere deep in our species' memory, we remember galloping beside herds. We remember the warmth of breath on a cold morning. We remember eyes that saw past everything false in us and loved us anyway. Horses don't grow old in a single day. It happens gradually. The pace slows. The breath deepens. The steps become careful. The eyes softer, but still glowing. They may still nicker when they see you, still reach for the treat, still stand close like always, but they begin to turn more inward. And sometimes so do we, because somewhere deep down, we feel it. The rhythm we once shared is changing. Aging horses don't ask for much. Not medals, not memorials, not even comfort. Mostly, they ask to be allowed to remain horses, to move as they wish, to eat slowly, to doze in sun patches, to nuzzle the same friend again and again, to rest without fear. They've spent their whole life giving strength, silence, service, and in old age, they just ask to be left with peace. For many people, the horse in their life has been there before the marriage, before the divorce, through grief, growth, healing, from childhood to adulthood. Some horses are constants, the quiet thread tying life's seasons together. You talk to them more than anyone else. You trust them more than most people. You've cried into their mane, You've laughed when they made you chase them in the rain, and when they begin to go, something in you begins to unravel too. Some people know when it's time, the vet is called, the day is set. And that night, you don't sleep much, you sit with them, you talk or don't. Maybe they lay down near you. Maybe they stand under the stars. Maybe they know, maybe they don't. But they feel your breath change. And in that space, quiet, painful, holy, there's a goodbye that no words can capture. When a horse lets go, it's often gentle. They do not resist life ending the way humans do. They do not cling. Sometimes they go standing. Sometimes lying down, always with dignity. And you hold the memory like a fragile thing. A hoofprint on your heart that will never fade. Science says yes. Horses show signs of grief after a herd mate dies. They return to places the lost one slept. They call, search, and display agitation. Some grow quiet, withdrawn. They mourn in their own way. And if you were part of their herd, they mourn you too. There are stories of horses standing at graves, refusing food after loss, searching fence lines, whinnying at an empty stall. This isn't a myth, it's a memory. It's love that doesn't need language. Grief doesn't end, but it softens. One day you'll smell hay, or feel the breeze across your cheek. And remember something, a sunrise trail ride. The rhythm of hoofbeats, the way they'd lean into your hand, just a little. You'll close your eyes. You'll smile, and in that breath, you'll feel them again, not gone, just changed, still walking with you, just not beside you. Do horses dream like we do? The short answer is yes. Science confirms it. Horses, like humans and other mammals, experience REM sleep, the stage of rest most associated with dreaming. Dreaming serves many functions: processing memory, sorting emotions, integrating experience, rehearsing survival behaviors. For horses, dreams might include running through fields, escaping a threat, social interactions with herd mates, revisiting moments of care, a hand, a brush, a shared walk. And yes, some researchers believe they may even dream of us. The sounds, the touch, the rhythm of a life shared. Horses sleep in cycles, light dozing while standing, and deeper sleep when lying down. They require trust and safety to enter REM sleep, which means they won't dream if they feel unsafe. They need other herd members to stand guard. They only enter dream states when fully relaxed. So if your horse lies down around you and begins to twitch, breathe deep, or flutter their eyelids, that's not just rest. It's a sign of profound trust. Neuroscientists studying equine sleep patterns have discovered horses cycle through sleep faster than humans. Their REM periods are shorter but more frequent. Lack of REM sleep causes cognitive and emotional stress. But dreams are still mysterious. We can't ask a horse what they saw. We can only observe. And in those observations, we've seen herds dozing together in rhythm, mothers nuzzling sleeping foals, aged horses jerking their legs like galloping in memory. These are not random spasms. They are the body remembering. Research shows horses have exceptional memory. They recognize people and animals years later. They remember routes, routines, and even emotions. They respond to familiar voices and expressions. So, it's not unreasonable to think they dream in memory too. That means the child who used to ride bareback may still live in a horse's dream. The old barn, long torn down, may still echo in a sleeping hoof. The moment you cried into their mane might return to them. In stillness, under moonlight, when a horse dreams in your presence, it means you've become part of their emotional herd. Their body trusts yours to keep watch. Their inner world includes you. And that's no small thing. They are not just resting. They are letting you guard the gates of their unconscious world. Some believe animals connect to a deeper level of intuition, that their dreams are not just survival-based, but spirit-based, that a sleeping horse might be traveling, visiting the memory of a herd long gone, communing with the rhythm of the earth, dreaming of places they've never seen, but somehow know. There are stories of horses waking and immediately seeking a distant pasture, reacting emotionally after sleep, standing still, eyes soft, as if remembering something ancient. Are these dreams or something more? No one knows. But when you sit beside a dreaming horse, the air feels holy. What if your horse dreams of the day you first met? The exact sound of your laugh, the warmth of your hand on their shoulder, the quiet walk after a long ride, the scent of your coat in winter. Maybe, in the vast and quiet theater of their mind, you appear as more than just a caretaker. Maybe you're part of their inner world, as they've become part of yours. It's one of the most well-known facts about horses: they can sleep while standing. But what does that actually mean? Horses use a stay apparatus, a system of ligaments and tendons that lets them lock their legs in place. This allows for light dozing, micro-resting, quick reaction to danger. But standing doesn't allow deep rest. For REM sleep, the kind where dreams and emotional recovery happen, horses must lie down. Horses are creatures of caution. They won't lie down if the surface is hard or slippery, the area is unfamiliar, their herd mate isn't keeping watch, they're in pain, or if they feel emotionally unsafe. So what happens? They go too long without REM sleep, and that's when problems begin. Horses that miss out on REM rest start showing moodiness, unusual aggression or reactivity, depression or withdrawal, stumbling while standing, microsleeps, brief blackouts where they drop suddenly. These drop episodes are often mistaken for seizures, neurological disease, even laziness. But in reality, it's exhaustion, pure dangerous exhaustion. In severe cases, horses may nod off while standing, lose muscle control, buckle forward and collapse, injure knees, face, or chest in the fall. This is rare, but it happens. Some horses even begin to fear falling, leading to a cycle of fear and further sleep deprivation. It's heartbreaking, and it's avoidable. Most common causes include lack of a safe place to lie down, past trauma, especially from falling during rest, separation anxiety from herd members, pain especially in joints, back, or hooves, disrupted herd dynamics, bullying, competition, loneliness. This isn't about laziness. It's about instinct. If the environment says stay alert, the horse will obey, even if it costs them everything. Here's what can help horses return to safe rest: soft footing like sand or deep shavings, consistent routines that reduce stress, safe companions they trust to stand guard, pain management if arthritis or injury is present, quiet observation, learning when they feel most at ease, veterinary support if physical causes are suspected. Sometimes, simply lying in the paddock with them or turning off harsh barn lights can make all the difference. We often think of horses as strong, stoic animals, but they're deeply sensitive to emotional tone. Yelling, inconsistent training, overcrowding, even human tension can keep a horse in low-grade alert mode. This isn't just behavioral, it's biological, because for prey animals, safe sleep is earned. It comes only when the world feels kind. Sometimes, though, a horse will doze near you, their heads will drop, their knees will wobble, and then they'll go down, carefully, slowly, and lie beside you. This moment, it's sacred. They are not collapsing. They are choosing to let go, to leave the world for a little while, because they believe you'll still be there when they wake. In the wild, a horse that stands quietly in a field isn't lazy. They're listening, reading the wind, scanning scent, feeling vibration through the ground. Stillness for them is not nothingness. It's awareness, it's presence. And presence, the real kind, is something most of us have forgotten how to do. A horse will never lie down next to someone they don't trust. They will never close both eyes beside a human who feels off. Because in their world, vulnerability is a gift. It's not just about rest, it's about surrender. And that kind of surrender, we all long for it, human or horse. When you spend time with horses, your internal rhythm changes. You begin to speak softer, breathe deeper, move slower, notice more. They don't just teach you how to handle reins. They teach you how to handle yourself, your emotions, your body, your energy. And the more you honor that quiet rhythm, the more you see it ripple outward into every part of life. Many cultures have viewed horses as messengers between worlds, guides in dreams, symbols of the soul's journey. When they rest and invite us into that space, we are, perhaps, brushing up against something far older than science. Knowing that the earth is alive, the body needs stillness, sleep is a kind of ceremony, and horses, they are our teachers in that ceremony. Not with words, but with breath, rhythm, and the soft thunder of heartbeats at rest. A horse will mirror your stress, but they will also mirror your peace. If you show up agitated, they move away. If you arrive grounded, they breathe with you. This mirroring is not manipulation, it's emotional honesty. And when you rest near a horse, fully calm, you are letting go of roles, expectations, and ego. You are simply being together. Often, it's only at the end, as our horses age, slow down, lie down for the last time, that we realize how rare real connection is, how sacred quiet moments are, how much love lives in silence. In those final weeks, we become gentler. We whisper more, we sit longer. We cry softly because we've learned rest is how love breathes. And maybe that's the real message they leave us with. In our loud, relentless world, we've been taught, don't stop, don't slow down. Don't rest until you've earned it. But horses, they rest because they're wise, because rest keeps them strong, because stillness makes them aware. Maybe it's time we do the same. Take the nap, sit in the sun, close your eyes, even for 10 seconds. Breathe, trust, because the world won't fall apart when we rest, but we might fall apart if we don't. Thank you for joining me here on Horse Sense, where every breath, hoofbeat, and flick of a tail brings us closer to the quiet wisdom horses carry. If this story stirred something in you, a memory, a thought, or simply a moment of stillness, let it stay with you. Until next time, take care and listen closely. The horses are always speaking.